Good evening and good day, everyone. Welcome to Crystalis Co-op Randomizer playthrough. We've got an awesome 2v2 race lined up today between Team Matric Code Gorilla and Team The Axeman and Sir Archibald. Joining me on commentary, first off, I'm Jay Roboy. Joining me on commentary is Mashama.
Is this Crystalis? Someone told me this was a secret Amana ROM hack. I think I'm in the wrong room.
It happens sometimes. But we've also got Giga on commentary as well, mostly planning on doing tracking, but feel free to chime in whenever you want. We really love having all of your commentary in here as well.
I was told that this was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
I think you just missed that one, but
Dang.
I'm pretty sure you can. You'll be able to follow along anyway, even if you've never seen this game before, Giga. That's one thing. If we can take a second to say, if there's anything that would be kind of challenging about this, is there's 4 people on the screen. Thankfully, their items are shared. This co-op race is sort of like a multi-roid race for like Metroid. You have 2 runners that have shared items between them. Their game states are synced. So on one screen, if one runner kills an enemy, both of them gain the experience for it. And then on the other screen, if the runner starts taking damage, both of them lose damages or lose their health at the same time. So it's very exciting to watch them, try to strategize and play around. Okay, well, if you go here and check for these items, I'll stay here and farm these enemies right now. Or in our commentary booth here, we have Mashama, who's actually one of the best runners at the game right now. And he's done a lot of co-ops for this, so I'm kind of curious to get his input on it as they go along to see Mashama, going on about like, well, this is actually a high-level strategy play that they're doing to, yeah.
No. The high-level plays for this are going to be absolutely hilarious. You're going to watch the laziest runners you have ever seen in your life. Because one person's going to be like, I'm going to go take on Motto 2. And the other person's going to be like, I'm going to take a nap for the next half hour. And that's actually optimal play. Because like J-Ro mentioned, they share health. So each time someone naps, it's going to restore both of their health pools. So as long as one person keeps napping and keeps on sleeping forever, the other person's basically immortal.
So be ready to see all sorts of fun things like this. House entrances are shuffled as well, so they're going to have to try to find. There's going to be turn-in NPCs that are going to be throughout the world, and they're going to be in new places. So they're going to have to run in and check all of these different towns. But other than that, I think most of the flags are pretty standard. They have all of the glitches available, so they may need to do. They may need to go take a there's the dolphin glitch, for instance. They may need to abuse, these glitches in order to progress, but they're all well seasoned at the game. In fact, both of the teams, we have Matric versus Axeman, which was the finals for our 2023 Crystalis race. So this is really exciting stuff we've got here.
So we're going to be pointing out every single mistake they make. Every time Matric and Axeman die, we know that these guys did not deserve their title.
They have the skill. We know they have the skill at this game.
I'm totally not salty in losing that tournament.
So a few more things I wanted to mention before we get started, but I'm super excited to get started. If you can't tell by the excitement in my voice, is first off, shout outs to RPG Limit Break for letting us host Questing for Glory 6 here on their channel. It's really awesome. If you've got your Prime subs available, drop those Prime subs. I already checked, mine's not. But if you do have them available, it goes straight to charity. The charity for the event is NAMI. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. NAMI advocates for access to services, treatments, support, and research, and is steadfast in its commitment to raise awareness and build a community for hope for all those who need. So, all right, everyone. We're really glad to see everything here, and I think we're good to go. Is everyone ready? Mashama, are you ready too?
Yeah. Are we good for me to drop the gate then?
I think I am. Yeah, let's do this.
Don't wait on a confirmation for me. I'm good.
All right, then let's get going.
Hopefully they're good.
We probably got a little bit of stream delay here to get things started, but when they get going, we'll be able to see it and get that timer rolling. And they're off.
Right,
So immediately you might have
screaming
seen at the entrance of the place, there was 2 chests there. Because of the settings with the houses being shuffled, you're not guaranteed 2 checks in the first town anymore, which means that they need these extra chests in there.
I'm worried.
Well,
I already
that's-
missed something.
That's not good. I will be right back. I lost video.
In the meantime, I just want to point out you've got both Axeman and Code Gorilla. It seems they're kind of acting as like scouts almost for their team. They've both been relegated to running down into this first cave to check for items. So this cave is known as the GBC cave. Crystalis came out on 2 platforms, the NES and the Game Boy Color. And on the Game Boy Color, they added a new cave to it. So we ported the cave from Game Boy Color back to the NES so we could have a couple of extra checks. So far, none of them still have weapons. There's no swords involved or anything like that. So
Right, so I haven't missed anything. Got it.
nope.
Nope.
All they've gotten is 2 flutes and a piece of armor. And I want to give a quick shout out. Each of them is running a unique skin. So Axeman
we
running
got
the
a
vanilla
Thunderwall.
skin and running into a thunder wall there at the end. Nothing to do for now in that cave. In the top left corner, we have Code Gorilla using the Messia sprite, Matrick using the Guardian Legend sprite, and Sir Archibald using the Soldier sprite that Archibald actually made himself. So we're really excited to see how this race is going.
I really wish I could see it.
Oh no.
Minor technical issues. I think I can see it if I make it tiny.
I'll just keep giving the color commentary until then, and then you can kind of just know what's going on. So far, they are walking through green areas. We have...
that's a glitch.
Oh, yeah. So...
Wasn't one of them doing statue glitch?
Yes.
Axeman?
Axeman performed what's called the statue glitch. In the original game, NPCs that are trying to block you from entering a house only ever push you away from the direction that you're facing. So if you walk at them, they'll push you back out of the way. But if you walk down into them, they actually push you backwards into the house, preventing, which lets you skip past them. So
There's like some weird things with it though. So you'll see when people approach, they'll hit like a certain
oh
angle.
no,
Oh,
Archibald
nice!
gets
The Warlock's
the
on
first.
point!
Yes!
Yes!
And he picks up a laser pointer. That's our first light. That's another flag that's on, and they get change out of it. Change will let them go check the other side and get to Swan, but not much from there. Yeah, one of the things about the randomizer is we have a community flags setting. So, or the community jokes, basically. So one of the things is this unidentified items, is all of the items are renamed to be just random things. So when they pick up an item, it'll say something like they picked up the Moog synthesizer earlier. A Moog synthesizer is an instrument, so it's any one of the 4 instruments that are in the vanilla game. They don't know what it is until they find the correct spot to use it.
Which is real fun for me, because I'm not part of the community.
Yeah, that it's definitely made a flag for more experienced runners that already know, okay, it's one of these 4, it can only be used here, and yeah, they know how to check for it.
Yeah, but Steve always throws in something random that makes me stop and go, okay, what was that?
Steve gets very creative with the names, like 2 or 3, stretches away from what could possibly be an instrument. But Thankfully, so far we haven't had anything too crazy yet.
You gotta tell me mayonnaise is on there.
I don't actually know. But he has just this giant list of them, so I swear I see a new one every other day.
Alright, so we got a lot of
I just saw a lava pendant there.
So right now, Mashama was mentioning that they've kind of realized that the progress is going to be after, on the other side of the ocean. So most everyone is running through to take the dolphin right now. They don't have a sword, so they can't afford to waste their money on warp boots yet. Because otherwise they could have just had, one of them visit the town and then the other one teleport to that town to get caught up.
This castle reminds me of Final Fantasy. People setting up shop in the castle. And that's because of WH. So WH randomizes all the towns. The Portoa Castle, the parts on it count as like town buildings. So they get randomized, and this time they got randomized in the shops. Hey, there's Brokahana. So that's the guy you talk to after you beat Motto 1. I believe in Vanilla it's after you do Goa, but we pinned it to the Motto 1 timing. I forget why. Have to ask Steve about that. But when we beat Motto 1, he'll have an item for us if we show up as Akahana. I don't think there was anything else.
Oh, go ahead.
Nah, it doesn't look like there's anything else of importance, really, in Portoa. Oh, no,
Yes.
Queen's there.
Oh, that's important.
Amazon Queen. So Portoa has 2 queens.
They, so far, they're really struggling to find... Oh, there it is!
It's the Horde of Otters!
And got the Horde of Otters.
Dragon Lord, you were asking for it. There it is.
Oh, that's wrong. I think it's that.
So we have community names for the swords. This is based on the Game Boy Color because it had a terrible, terrible voiceover. And so whenever you got a sword, it would try and say its name. But the horrible voiceover over came out as like Horde of Otters for the Sword of Water, Sword of Wind, Chorg of Chunger.
If this game looks interesting to you and you'd like to try it out, I'd just like to, just play the NES version. It's great.
Yeah.
The Game Boy Color remake is just not quite as great. There you have it. Archibald finding a trombone at the the Rage check, yeah.
Yep.
Rage will only give you an item if you have the sword he wants. It's any one of the 4 swords, and they only have the water sword, and that just happened to be the one he wanted today, so.
Which is pretty vanilla.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. That also means that they've hit answering machine. That's the little Messiah sign behind Rage.
I did want to point out right there, Code Gorilla, when he went back to the start, he used what's known as the Wild Warp. In the vanilla game, if you push a certain button combination on both Player 1 and Player 2's controllers, it'll warp you around the world. In the randomizer, we use this combination to have a free teleport back to start in case you ever get stuck or something goes wrong and you manage to softlock yourself. You're always welcome to go back to the start and figure it out. But Code Gorilla decided to try to kill that Mimic because Mimics give a lot of gold and it's not weak to his sword. So they still don't have a good quality source of income until they get a better sword, but they can always kill things if they need to farm.
Is it immune to the sword?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The Mimics will have 2 weaknesses, so they'll have odds will be in their favor coming up.
We had Axeman and Archibald picking up rabbit boots there as well.
Code and Metric have Sword of Fire, it looked like.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Did we get that wrong then? Because I'm seeing Axeman and Archibald has Sword of Fire listed. Oh, they do have the Sword of Fire. Okay, no.
Looks like everybody's got it.
So
Everybody should have
everyone's
it.
got the Sword of Fire then.
I didn't see it on Code Matrix side.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch 4 screens.
But I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Magius in chat, forgive me if
Oh, no,
I
they
butchered your name, pointed out that the NES version is actually part of the Nintendo Switch Online. So if you get that, you can play it for free.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And then the SNK collection also has it. So I bought it on Steam, I bought it on Switch, and then I got it free with the online afterwards.
You just love this game so much.
Yes, I do. That's why I've committed myself to the randomizer, so I can get really mad at tournaments I lose.
It's the only way to play games these days.
It is. Alright, so Code Gorilla's checking. Nope, they cannot get into Goa with what they got. Which is probably a sigh of relief, because they are not well supplied.
But Archibald finding that the Mimic does die to the Fire Sword, though, so he might be tempted to just farm it and heal constantly.
Let's see. So, Code Gorilla's getting boots. Matrix on his way somewhere through GBC Cave. Did we go over GBC Cave?
Yes.
I believe you did earlier, yeah.
Okay. That's wanted to make sure we got that, because it is a major difference between randomizer and regular.
Right. Pretty much every randomizer run I've tracked, GBC Cave has been one of the first things everyone does.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that was added to try and make the game less linear, because the areas go very sequentially. But with the extra exits on the GPC cave, it helps break that up, so now you can hit a bunch of different areas and you'll have much more to explore. It's honestly one of the best additions.
Archibald was farming and ran into a slug.
When one dies, everybody dies.
That's really rough. See, that Mimic at the start would be really tempting to farm for experience and gold, but there's the downside that it's a itty-bitty tiny place in that first chamber, meaning you're very likely to get poisoned and killed if you're not careful, so...
Why does Code hate this zombie so much? He's doing 1 point of damage at a time, and just slowly picking at it while dodging the bat.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the bat, I could imagine he's just nervous about his health bar. It's kind of really small, and I don't think they have herbs. They would have used it by now if they did.
Man, now I'm sad. That bat disappointed me. He had an easy kill, and he just couldn't do it.
Oh man. Although if Code takes a death here, that's going to really set Magic behind, because he's just about to be getting really deep into this cave, and then...
The Oasis?
Yeah, because the Oasis cave is kind of like a spiral long loop to get to the inside where the item is. And dying in the middle of that's going to be a long walk of shame back.
And the center has an iron wall, so he's not even sure whether he can break it or not. So if he dies before he gets to it, it's going to be so painful. Looks like Code's being extremely cautious, though, and just kind of killing everything and not taking chances. Alright, yep, and Matrick can't break it, so he's going to have to go back to Oasis Cave at some point, or just completely abandon the check.
So something we saw there is Code Gorillas kept their menu paused that entire time until Matrick went back to the end and healed. Yeah, it works. That way Code can't die until Matrick heals. So...
Told you you're going to see some lame optimal strategies.
I've done something similar to that in one you were talking about when I played Link to the Past co-op.
One person just repeatedly heal.
Yeah, just have someone sit in the potion shop, because there's a free heal there. The other one tried Canner or something.
I tried to listen in on their strats before this, so I tried to watch both of their streams and both of their team streams to see, like, what do they think about, what do they talk about while they play this, as a little bit of research ahead of time. And I gotta say, it gets chaotic by the end, because with the houses being shuffled and they're like, wait, did you check this? Because you really only check about half of the map. And you don't actually remember if the other person checked that or not. So,
They
oh
found
no!
Stom. He's moved to a beach house.
Stom living it up in the world. Getting that beach house. Archibald
I wanted
took
to
an
ask about
unfortunate
Wild
death.
Warps, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go right ahead. What's your question?
Are there any other Wild Warps than the beginning of the game enabled?
Nope. So Wild Warp will only send you back to the shrine. That's it. That's extremely handy for running and for playing the game in general, because you know you always have a quick warp back to Leaf whenever.
Right.
There is an option in the randomizer to change it so that it's the vanilla Wild Warp locations, and then there's another option that makes it so it's randomized Wild Warp locations, which gets a little chaotic, because then you're expected from the start of the game to randomly warp around and visit, and then you have to keep in mind, okay, I have like 16 locations I can just teleport to by pushing this button, but, you know, that was my first ever race, had randomized Wild Warps on, and I had no clue what that was. Needless to say, I DNF'd.
You poor soul.
It was also when Steve introduced the Oops All Robots flag, and I got them back for that by making an Oops All Mimics flag in return.
That's a standard flag I use now. That's so much fun.
I'm glad something good came out of it, other than just,
Alright, so
Revenge.
Matrick just learned he still can't thaw out the statues. So he's going to use Statue Glitch for why it's named that, and just push by the statues.
Is that Wind Sword? It was
Yeah,
great.
Sword of Wind for Team Code Trick.
Is that what we're calling them?
Matt Gorilla?
I think they submitted official team names. I don't know what the team names are. All I know is that they made them.
They submitted official team names, we just ignored them?
That sounds like the best thing for comms to do, or just come up with their own. I like Matt Gorilla and...
the bald axe.
the Baldax.
I mean, it
Matt
is in
Gorilla
line
and
with
the
you
Baldax.
You guys seem to have been very, very mean to each other in comms and stuff.
Sans goes. Oh yeah, for anyone interested in playing this game, you should totally join our Discord and just start playing. We're just one big happy family, and we're always ribbing on each other and talking about stuff and going over runs and things. So, and like, don't even feel bad if you've never played the game. If it just looks interesting, just come join us. We'll walk you through anything and everything. Everyone is super nice. We just love the game to death, and we just would like more people to join us whenever we can get it.
Yeah, every so often we have someone show up and ask a question, and and they get, just Matrick shows up and answers the question for the next 30 minutes and any follow-up questions they have, and make sure that they understand all of the flags. And yeah, this game is great, and as Sho Fukumaki points out in the chat, it's great except Mato 2. He's a jerk. We'll get to Mato 2 later. It's a little bit easier in co-op mode because you can have someone spamming heals to prevent him from killing you. But of all the bosses in the game, he's usually the hardest because you don't have the power level to fight him when you have to fight him, and so on. So we always look forward to a good Mato 2 fight.
I don't mean to interrupt, but the Baldax team also got the Sword of Wind.
Nice.
Nice. I do want to... No, you're welcome to cut in anytime because we need these updates. It's so hard to follow. I missed that entirely. I do want to point out something. If you notice the HUD, if you've played the game before, the HUD is a little bit different. I just want to point out one of the new features we have. We added the enemy names and the health bars for the enemies at the bottom. And then there's also that little number there that's labeled DL. It's a bit hard to see, but DL stands for the difficulty level, or it's basically the scaling of the seed. Every time you get a key item, that number increases by 1. which slightly increases the difficulty of all of the enemies.
Yep, and that includes bosses. Aw. Warlock got him, but he was right by the door. But with the DL, if we're doing races, it's very important to keep track of that, especially for where the seed is funneling us, because since the boss scaling is also affected by that, if you end up doing, like we were just talking about Motto 2 and how like nightmarish he can be, if you actually get him early and you lucked into some early levels or some armor, he's actually incredibly easy because he'll barely do any damage and he won't have much health. So early Motto 2 actually isn't the worst as long as you're ready for it. That said, it works the other way too. Late Motto 2, if you didn't luck into like some battle gear, can be the complete absolute nightmare because he's going to hit like a truck anytime he does anything. And if you hadn't lucked into finding armor, you're just kind of dead in one pinball.
I did want to point out an update, and it's been a solid minute since it happened, but Code Gorilla found the fruit of lime and proceeded to stomp it into the ground. That was a requirement. It happened. I just wanted to point it out.
That was a requirement.
Yeah. No seed is validated until you stomp on that fruit of lime. So the fruit of lime we consider it the worst item in the game. So what it does is it cures you from the stone effect for being turned into a statue.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, turning into a statue cures itself over time. And because you only ever get one status condition, you can use it to actually cure poison, paralysis, or anything else, because it'll just time itself out. So being stoned is a benefit, not a detriment. So having some way to cure it is just a waste of inventory space. So we tend to stomp it and turn it into wine, because it seems much more useful that way.
Yeah, the fruit of lime is probably one of the worst items in the game. But on the flip side, what they just picked up, the Team Matt Gorilla, is the warrior ring, one of the best items in the game. Colloquially known in the community as the show ring, the warrior ring allows you to constantly spam level 1 shots, which you can see is very effective at just clearing rooms of enemies on Matrix stream.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and Dragon Lord pointed out, because you can only ever have one status condition, you can swap between your status conditions to try and like optimally play through it. So if you get paralyzed and you're trying to get through a wall, you might try and find something to poison you to flip it, and then that gets rid of your paralysis. You can also use Repun, the slime effect, if you're by an exit, because once you pass through an exit, it cures that to get rid of things. So part of the game is just juggling your statuses to be whatever you need them to be if you mess up and get whacked.
We have Code Gorilla taking on the first boss with 1 HP. Matrick better heal. There you go, Matrick.
Code's being lame and pausing again.
It's
Code
a legitimate
taking on.
strategy.
This is Sabera 1. It's the first fight against the General Sabera. It's usually pretty easy. There's always a concern that you don't have the right sword for it, but with 3 of the 4 swords, it was a 75% chance, and there you go. Each of the generals have 1 sword weakness. So there's, and you can see down there at the bottom, we have marked off Sabera 1, now that they killed her. And when you get to them, you don't know what sword they're weak to until you try it. And that's another benefit of being able to wild warp at any time, because if they're not weak to it, then you just gotta wild warp out.
They got key of B flat. Is that their first key?
Yes.
Alright, so which key do you think it is? We have the Windmill Cave, it could be the key to prison, or it could be the key to Stixie.
They could do...
Which one do you
Okay.
think it is?
I'm gonna put it on Windmill Cave.
Alright, what is our wonderful tracker gonna guess it is?
Stixie, because that's the only one I remember.
You want to Stixie? Alright. So we'll see who is right.
That's always a fun in joke whenever you're wondering in the community. with the randomized item names, we don't know what key that goes to, so everyone has to, you know, you just walk up to the key slot, stick it in the keyhole, and nope, it didn't work. Okay.
You're just given a keychain and it's got a key on it. You don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, how are you supposed to know that it goes to the lighthouse? I mean, I don't see any labeling on it. It says it's the key of B flat.
Who are the commentators? I don't know. We have some dude named Jero in here with us. Someone named Giga, I guess, is tracking. He's probably the most confident out of the three of us, though. I don't think me and Jero put together are gonna equal a Giga. And I'm Mashama.
Alright, first check on the key. It was windmill key.
Well,
They actually found the windmill. Could you believe that Stom's training grounds became the windmill?
Alright, so someone's gonna have to go to Leaf for the cave to actually blow open. Yep. So normally when you walk outside of the windmill, you'll see the cave blow open, and that sets the trigger for both entrances of the cave to be open. In this, because it's not next to it, the cave is not open until someone sees it blow itself open.
One thing that's kind of fun about that is both of these racers are pretty neck and neck, though.
Oh, Axeman forgot!
What happened?
He went to the back entrance of Windmill Cave, and it wasn't open because only the front can pop open. He walked up and stopped there for a second, and then he wild warped.
You know, that's going to cost him a solid 10 or 15 seconds. That's going to lose him the race. When this comes into between 10 and 15 seconds, that's... Oh no!
He's out of inventory space! Archibald, use something! Oh, he got out of it. So, something fun when playing Crystalis. If your inventory is full, and you try and pick up a chest with another consumable, it will tell you about the consumable, and then it will leave the chest, and because you don't have the space for it. And then you'll get, if you're on the chest tile, you'll then be stuck in this endless loop of seeing the pop-up for the item over and over and over again until you manage to slowly crawl yourself pixel by pixel out of the chest.
And it may just be me, but that spot in particular gets me every time. Like, it's that one and Azteca, and I don't think they're going to fall for the Azteca trap. But every time I get that problem, I'm just like, mashing, because you can like move a couple pixels between each text box, but it takes forever.
Alright, so I did see correctly, we do have a Sword of Thunder on the top team. Matt Gorilla.
Sword of a penis. So Sword of Thunder in the original game was strictly better than every other sword in the game. So there's been some changes to the randomizer to try and equal their strength out, and we have random weaknesses. However, Sword of Thunder still has like a shotgun effect on its level 1 attack, so it still has like a strictly better effect than all the other ones just off the level 1s. So yeah, they've got a pretty good sword along with, they've got all of them now, for no weakness.
Yeah, all the swords mean the game really opens up at this point. The last like major progression thing they're missing is going to be flight and then the bows. So we haven't actually talked about how do you win a Crystalis randomizer yet.
How do you win a Crystalis randomizer?
You just do a little better every time.
That's true. That's true, Mashama. Looking at your tourney results.
Oh.
Rude.
Which were significantly better than mine. I'm not hating, okay?
Alright, so how you actually beat this is we have a setting called Story Mode On. So in order for the final boss Dragon 2 to actually show up, You have to beat all of the generals. There are 4 of them inside Goa. There are 3 of them outside of Goa. And then you have to beat Dragon 1, who's hiding in the pyramid. Once they've all been killed, you have to collect all 4 swords, and you have to have 3 bows in order to get to him and to get him to his final form. So it's a bunch of collectibles you have to pick up, along with clearing a lot of the bosses out.
And then there's technically one required spell, but it's required by like coincidence. It's flight. In order to get to some of these locations to fight, like Dragon 1, for instance, you need flight to get there.
Yep. So other than just getting past the desert whirlpools, which are still weird to me for the sand having whirlpools in them, but
it looks cool. You got to give them some credit.
It does look cool.
There's such a thing as quicksand.
There is. I guess that's true. But it doesn't like suck you in, it just doesn't let you cross it at all. The whirlpools don't work like whirlpools. Maybe that'll be a new setting.
Making quicksand actually look like quicksand, as in not be visible differently
As in, like,
from regular
pulls
sand.
you in and kills you if you get too close.
Just have a map tile that inflicts paralysis on you or something. Whatever prevents you from moving.
Now you're giving me too many good ideas. I don't think I want to.
For a given definition of good. Yeah, J-Ro can be kind of modest, but he's on our dev team, and the wonderful HUD that we have that shows the enemy HP, he designed that. So if you like actually being able to see whether you're doing damage to Sabra 2 after like hours of trying to whack her, J-Ro is the one to thank.
Yeah, we took that as a suggestion from Matrick because in the past, when you would watch a boss fight take 7 minutes as they wail on Sabera 2, you know, and you're wondering if they're ever
Nice. Oh, I'm so happy the
immediately
warlocks are on
switches
point
to
today.
Sacred Shield.
So Sacred Shield will make you immune to that slime effect. So he basically just raged and swapped to an immunity. It's a good call if you know there's a warlock-infested area, because you can never fully trust them. Sometimes they'll be kind and they won't do it at all. Other times they will just blast the Nooper spell repeatedly in your direction, and it is so scary.
I think the bottom team has Thunder Sword. I thought I saw them using it.
Okay. One thing about the enemies in this game that's interesting to note is each of the enemies have their own like kind of we randomize the HP and things of the enemies, but we kind of keep it in like their original bracket, you know? So there's going to be big enemies that have high HP, low defense. There's going to be some enemies with low defense and low HP, and we try to keep that the same, even if it's randomized every time. And so that leads to runners coming up with their own do not kill lists. So we were talking about the warlocks earlier, and for most runners, I think everyone puts a warlock on their do not kill list because they have high HP, high defense, and that Nooper beam they shoot up that turns you into the little Goomba, Gooper, whatever that is, really just like, it ruins your day. So it's not the most, you know, it's not fun to fight a warlock at all. So you'll just see them avoid them and kill anything else that's not a warlock usually. But
yeah, the warlocks are not fun. The only thing debatably worse is the mummies, because the mummies are stupidly aggressive on the player. If they touch you, they will poison you, and they shoot out a petrification beam to petrify you and turn you to stone. Now, like I was saying earlier, petrification isn't considered like a bad thing to all of our advanced runners. We consider it a good thing because we can cure status with it. The problem is the mummies will petrify you, then immediately jump on you and start chowing down, damaging you, and putting the poison condition on you right after that. So typically you won't escape a mummy if it petrifies you without a bunch of damage and poison afterwards. It's going to flip you from stone to poison, and just make your day horrific.
Yeah, there's definitely like one thing that makes this game really cool for the NES era is just how many, like, the wide variety of enemies it has, the wide variety of areas, biomes. You know, it's a very impressive game for an NES. And they all have, like, you know, most of them have completely unique AIs too. And some of them have different projectiles, weapons, and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, Dumpster, I know what team you're on. Please don't show me more mummies. They scare me. You can, Dumpster, you can tell your friends they can go home now. It's okay.
Yeah, we have another one of our community jokes is the mummies. Some of the enemies are named after community members, and I don't know if you'll see any of that in this race if you look at the names of the enemies at the bottom. But sometimes you'll see the mummies be called the Tornell Huggers because one of our runners named Tornell likes to get hugged by the mummies.
Yeah,
Likes to or ends up being?
Let's just say we like to see him get hugged by the mummies.
Fair enough, fair enough.
But yeah, that's another big reason to, you know, join the Discord and join the community and race with us. We just have fun, and if you race with us for a while, we'll start adding your name into things for anything that, like, you just get known for. It is so hard to tell who's in the lead. I think so. It's pretty even because I know no one has gone through Goa, correct? Everyone's still putting that off.
I don't know if they found the entrance to Goa, have they?
Goa's in the work list.
Yeah, they've been to Goa. Someone was checking it earlier. I think it was Code. Checked it earlier and couldn't get into it with the sword they had at the time. So they can get to Goa. Just no one has chosen to actually go and brave it for now. I'm not sure exactly what they're waiting for, because they don't seem to be getting any, like, that much stronger. Just the difficulty level keeps raising. That's a bad thing. There we go. Someone's finally doing it. Axeman is going for it.
There it is.
I guess he opened it already? Have they already been there?
I'm a little nervous that maybe their streams aren't in sync down at the bottom. No. Okay. Like, their XP's not going down at the same time on the bottom stream. I'm wondering if they've managed to get out of sync somehow.
I don't think they were ever in sync in the first place.
That's a little weird. Oh well. Oh, so Archibald is the developer of this, and so I'm sure if they have technical difficulties on his team, they'll figure it out. Oh, yeah. There we go. It looks like the XP is finally in sync. So I guess he clicked the sync button or something. I don't know how that works.
I think it's more a stream delay thing.
It could be. Yeah, that's true. They could just have different stream delays, now that you mention it.
Now, I noticed that when people are in beds of spikes, they jump out of it. That's not the flight spell, is it?
Nope, that is Rabbit Boots. So Rabbit Boots gives you the ability to hop if you don't have a spell equipped, which is very handy because you can hop in the spikes and you won't take damage. That's kind of illogical. You would think jumping in spikes would hurt more, but it's a safety thing because it's more like poison. So as long as you're jumping, you won't take damage off that.
Right.
Rabbit Boots also, because all they do is hop and it's not that terribly useful for the randomizer, they've been upgraded. So while you have them equipped, you can charge while moving, which is an effect I absolutely love. And so I personally love to see early Rabbit Boots just so I can get that effect like right away. Along with the hopping's just straight up fun.
Yeah, I remember playing Crystalis before. I hated how you had to sit still to charge.
We're
Well,
about to have two bosses here being fought at the same time. Matrix taking on Mato 1, and Axeman's about to take on Carmine. So if you watched Matrix take on Mato 1, you see him bouncing around there. Just a pleasurable experience. And when we get to Mato 2 in a bit, you'll see Mato 2 bouncing around at twice that speed, which is also a lot more fun to play against, though.
Yeah, Mato 2 gets out of his town car and gets into his Formula race car.
Come on, give me a sign. What orb was that?
Nicholas.
It was fun.
One thing about the sword power scaling in this game is in the original, whether you got the ball or the bracelet, it had all sorts of like effects, but each sword had a different damage attached to it. In the randomizer, all of the swords have a flat damage rate. So I believe it's your sword, if you have just the sword, it does 2 damage. And then if you have the ball, it does 4 damage. And then if you have the bracelet, it does 8 damage. So,
and then I believe wind and water have a buff on top of that because they're the weakest of the 4. So I think they get an extra 2 when you're comparing them at max. Just because the level 3 on water is just garbage compared to all the other ones. And wind, like fire and thunder, just are absolute monsters in this. Whenever you're ending a siege, you want to get the Bracelet of Fire or the Bracelet of Thunder, because either one of those will just clear like everything easily compared to the other 2. So there is a buff on the other 2 to try and make up for that.
yeah, we're always, as spectators, we're always secretly hoping that they'll end up with a water bracelet only seed, because that's always fun to watch.
So Axeman's almost got Mato 2 dead.
No! He popped the opal statue?
Mato wanted his statue. You don't leave Mato's room for free. You have to give him something.
We got to witness another glorious Mato 2 fight. Thankfully, they had a ball for that, so the water sword was doing that bonus damage. But without that, that fight can just be a true slog. They have the warrior ring, it makes it even easier. But oh man, that guy bounces around, and that guy hurts.
He's supposed to get easier when he gets lower in health because he pops out of the ball more often, but I never get that. He can get low on health and just decide that it's time for you to die.
Yeah, the angles he bounces at are just wonky. Like, none of it makes any sense, but it makes for an entertaining spectating experience. Axe finding another key, though. For their team, that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Because that's probably key to Stixie, and without flight, you don't want to go to Stixie. In Stixie, half of the checks are locked behind flight. So, it's a long walk to get there. It's a long walk to find out that your key doesn't work there.
If you're Axeman,
Code Gorilla taking death.
Oh,
the Mato.
Mato 2 strikes again.
Oh no, Code Gorilla got synced.
So what happened there? So the Wise Man is supposed to heal you to full, okay? So Code Gorilla went to try and get a full heal, but Matrick was re-entering the game at that point. So Code Gorilla got the full heal, then they synced, and they synced to Matrick's file, so it dropped him down. Because of the way it's syncing. Because Matrick took his health before he healed, and then sent the health back to Code Gorilla to drop him down.
Oh, that's too perfect. So now Code Gorilla's relying on he needs to just tell Matrick to warp to an inn, but I guess they've got 10,000 gold. You can buy warp boots and take it to an inn.
Alright, here we go again. Mato 2, round 2.
I'm surprised he's not asking Matrick to camp this, because he's almost dead already.
He's getting clobbered.
Back to the end.
Matrick into the end. All right, Matrick.
Motto 2 takes no prisoners.
All right, Matrick. You've had a long day. It's time to nap.
40,000 nights in the inn isn't that bad. At least you don't get stuck in the wall in this game. For doing that.
Innkeeper's just like, I'm just gonna open a tab.
Woo! There we go.
He did it. Oh.
Just supporting the local economy in Leaf. We gotta keep our innkeepers in business.
Isn't it the cheapest inn?
So it's hard to tell who's ahead, especially with Randomizer and this being co-op. But I believe Red Team is currently in the lead, especially since Code Gorilla got slapped around and killed by Motto, and Matrick had to take a very, very long nap. And Axeman just gave Motto an opal and said, "Can I just pass, please?" And Motto let him go.
And to answer your question, Giga, I already forgot your question.
Isn't it the cheapest inn in Leaf?
Oh, the inn prices are randomized, but they increase over time based off of your scaling.
Right,
Yep.
your difficulty level.
Oh, I know in racing I don't typically keep track of inn prices, so whatever the closest inn is, that's the one I'm going to use, regardless of prices.
Nice
Boots,
about that.
though, if you need warp boots, I will keep track of warp boot prices at places, and whoever's selling the cheapest boots, that's nice. Warlock got him. Warlock got Archibald.
Oh, that's another good one. But they got flight. There in Goa, they got flight and a key. So, Axeman just, I know in their comms, they're like, yo, go Arch, go, you know, it's time to go check Stixie. If this key is Stixie, that's 6 new checks. That's a lot of checks. So
I think it's
they've got
important
2
for,
keys. Yeah.
for the listeners, the audience, to know you said go up and not go.
Oh, that's right. Go Goa.
We are not necessarily in go mode just yet.
No. We're pretty close though.
Oh, is that our first
We're
bow
just missing some bows.
from Code Gorilla?
Yeah, there's a
And
bow.
Vonnie noticed, yep, the Matrick is using the Guardian Legend skin. I believe that was made by Cross Product. Did you go over? You went over the skins, right, J-Ro? I suppose we can go over it again.
The names of the
Yeah.
skins.
Yeah. So just a heads up, J-Ro are one of our wonderful programmers here. He added the function to add in skins to the game. So we have a bunch of community skins already. Well, we have a few community skins already. And J-Ro went ahead and dropped into our Discord a handy free program you can use if you want to make your own skin for the game. And we have a really easy upload option for once you make it to just throw it into the game. So you can use whatever skin you want to make or whatever skin someone else has made. It's quite a bit of fun.
It's cool stuff.
I've got one
Yeah.
in progress at the moment.
Oh,
Nice.
that's exciting.
Honestly, I forgot about it until I started tracking for this run.
I'm excited to see what you got. I love seeing what people come up with on these skins.
It's
And,
a Subrosion from Oracle
Oh,
Season.
that's so cool. So hopefully someday, no promises, you'll be able to play as your favorite Subrosian from your favorite Legend of Zelda game for the Game Boy Color. Because
It'll be
Seasons is
relative.
better than Ages.
Yeah.
I agree. Seasons is better than Ages. No, that's
So right now, if we want to talk about who's ahead, I just want to throw this out there. We don't actually know, but when we get closer to the end, we'll know. Both teams are going to have flight. Both teams have 1 bow. You can see they've almost killed all of the same bosses. I think the only ones that, you know,
So that's
they're
Dragon 1 down. Yeah, it's pretty close. Red is ahead, but we're missing bows. And bow hunts be bow hunts in this game. All you need is a lucky check, and suddenly you go from back of the pack to the very front, and then you end it 10 minutes ahead. So we never fully know till the end.
It didn't look like red team has any bows.
Gold team's got one bow. Looks like they might have one bow.
Yeah, they both have one bow, I believe. Because they got it in when they're diving into Sabera's area in Goa.
I must have missed it in the inventory.
Yeah, in order to complete the game, there is one thing we haven't mentioned about these bows yet. Is there's 3 bows, 2 of them are used for one thing and 1 of them is used for a different thing. So they're all randomized though. So in order to get to the end of the game, the reason you need the 3 bows is there's these 2 guardian statues, the sun and the moon statues. So you need the sun bow and the moon bow to kill those. And then you go all the way to the boss before the final boss, the big boss. And in order to hurt him, you need to have the 3rd bow. So it's possible that there are 2 checks between there. And if you get 2 bows, and they just happen to be the sun and the moon bow, it's possible that the 3rd bow is in that final area. It's really trolly.
Matrix failing the skip. Oh, this has got to be so painful for him. Oh man, he's tearing up his speedrunner card right now.
We're throwing it away.
He's got to be so upset because.
Is this the rage pause? Maybe it's like emulator lag or something for him. He's not used to.
It's not even on the right pause screen.
It might be lag.
There it is.
Goes. Yeah,
maybe he's checking the flags to see if rabbit skip was on.
So, what skip was that?
So we call that rabbit skip. So in order to get to Mount Saber North, there are typically 2 checks that need to happen. There's one outside the mountain and one inside the mountain. Now, the one outside the mountain requires either teleport for the check not to be there, or if you fly over to the mountain by crossing the river, it never loads that outside check and you can get in. Now, the inside check normally requires you to get all the villagers in Leaf kidnapped, and then you have to talk to this rabbit in Leaf who tells you that all of the villagers were kidnapped. So then you go rescue them from Mount Saber North, and that removes the inside trigger to put you in. However, for whatever reason, the inside check is actually split into 2 pieces, and there is just enough width between the 2 pieces for the player character to actually walk through it. So if you know where the hole is at, you can just walk through it. We were having a good time laughing at Matrick because he refers to this trick as being free. If you know where the hole is, it's not that hard to do because there's a lot of indicators in the area. There's a couple wall pebbles that you can use to see it. You can also line yourself up with the wall at the bottom, and it's got a decent indicator, which is what he was doing at the end there once he paused and took a breath. He was trying to line himself up with the bottom wall. He probably uses the floor to line himself up normally, and for whatever reason that wasn't working. So then he lined himself up with the wall at the bottom to be able to just walk through. But we refer to that as rabbit skip because you skip the rabbit in Leaf.
Yeah, there's a few things that happened in the meantime. We saw them do their first check. As I mentioned, as soon as you get 2 bows, well, the boss there that they fought, Kelbest won and killed, dropped a 2nd bow, but it turns out that bow is not the one for the sun statue. So they don't have the right bows yet. That means they're going to have to continue the bow hunt, but at least they know that their 3rd bow is not going to be in the crypt.
Yep. So once they get the crypt, they'll probably just blaze through it. And then, yeah, Steve's friends with Matrick. He's got the inside track here, so he knows. Matrick usually uses the piles of snow on the map. So yeah, he was definitely looking at it. He was probably trying to use the piles of snows like normal, and then he lined himself up with the wall instead. Because I noticed he was getting close to that wall to try and get his character on the right tile to be able to get across.
Oh, I'm just picturing Matrick watching this back now and then wondering why we spent 5 minutes going on about how he failed Rabbit Skip.
Honestly, we're having a good laugh, but he's probably so mad about that because he's really, really good at this game, like scarily good. That's why he was top this last tournament. And he's really hard on himself with this kind of thing too. So like we have a good time when he fails stuff just to rib him a little bit, but like he gets really hard on himself for failing things that are like normally really difficult anyway. But yeah, he is scarily good. Be warned if you want to race him.
We had a check there. Wait, Axe just got a bow. Is that it? Is that our last bow? Or did they not?
No, they still only have 2 bows.
Okay.
But did they do the test?
He used one, didn't he?
They did the test at the statues. They have the moon bow and the end bow.
If they use one of the bows, you can wild warp out, and then you'll just won't have that bow in your inventory anymore.
Or maybe he reset. I don't know. Well, I would imagine if it was, then he would have warped straight there, and they'd start ending the game.
Nah, okay. That can't be it then.
Hang on, Matrix's doing it. So they're gonna do another one of those sequences where they just take a bunch of damage and have someone in the end. In this area,
a hell run to insect while Code Gorilla takes a very long nap.
For an opal.
I'm sure Code Gorilla was just happy for the sleep. He's still napping.
40,000 nights.
Are they saving the kid? What? Why? Yeah, they're saving the kid.
In the swamp in particular, you need a gas mask in order to not die to the poison rapidly. But, oh, there's Kensu.
So is it Killen Woods? He asked, is level 16 mandatory to finish? For the randomizer, no. So again, we mentioned the difficulty level for the scaling. Nothing is unkillable as long as you have the right element. So that level 16 is not mandatory like in the OG game, which is super painful that you have to be max level and you have to get powering. In this, you will always be able... You can technically finish the game at level 1. Would not recommend, though. Would never recommend, because you will still be able to do the 1 damage to Dragon and slowly pick down his mighty, mighty HP.
Are you telling me you don't have a randomizer setting to not gain experience ever?
J-Ro tried to add that accidentally in one of our seeds. We were all very upset. Except for Tornal, who figured out the one thing that would level and would not share.
I did want to point out here that the other team is making the exact same play with Insect. We're very proud of them.
Oh, he's just using refresh, though. Oh, what? Our couple died. They're out of sync. They're gonna have to resync. Oh
no, they're not out of sync. It's just a delay. We figured that out earlier. Axeman is like 5 seconds behind Archibald, and then it'll catch up. So if you're looking at Archibald's stream, he'll die before, and then you'll see.
Ominous.
So for Code Gorilla and Matrick, they have all bracelets now, which means combat is going to be a piece of cake in the tower. Normally, you may have speeds where the bracelets are too deep, you never find them, but it's going to be a piece of cake. They're just going to plow through the tower, probably Fire Sword, Thunder Sword, doesn't matter.
Alright, so Axeman is trying the Hell Run again. Hopefully this time, he doesn't get them killed.
Archibald panicking there for a second, trying to remember, did I check this or not? So he made it. He went all the way into the deep recesses of Oasis Cave to check the flight check, and I guess Axe checked it. So they already covered that base.
Insect's done. Axe got his opal.
The
Opals are
opal
good.
statues, they're extra lives, right?
Basically, so how they function is when you hit 0 HP, they'll automatically crack and fill your HP back to full, along with they'll clear any status conditions that were on you.
So Final Fantasy Auto Life.
Yep.
Fun fact, in vanilla, you had to have them equipped for that to happen, which is a little wonky.
Yeah, for this, you don't have to do that. However, that means you don't have a choice on whether you use it or not when you hit 0 HP. Sometimes you would prefer not to, and they just kind of crack.
Actually, I've got a better analogy, better comparison. Paper Mario Life Shroom.
Yes.
Code is back in Goa. What did they miss?
Typically, opals will always be cracked on something stupid. They'll never be used on something useful. It was a rare day today that Motto actually took an opal. Normally, it'll be like, that's slime that I'm not paying attention to. Yep, he gets the opal.
Oh, you know what I bet they missed? Slime Kensu check. Now that you mentioned slime.
Slime Kensu is the biggest jerk because he is deep in Goa, and you rarely have the right item for him when you see him. It'd be like, what item don't you have? That's the thing I need.
Real though. There's maybe like two checks in Goa that can really troll you. One of them's behind a wall, so if you don't have all of the... There's
Longbow.
the last bow!
That's it!
Wait, they only have two? Which bow are they missing?
Did they...
I don't know.
Was the other one in Stixie? I don't think they've done Stixie.
They've got to have different bows, because I swear I haven't seen...
I haven't seen Longbow
Axe and them
either.
do.
But that means it's likely...
Code's going.
It could be that that's Sun and Moon, and he's gonna do a crypt dive and get, completely trolled by that.
Yeah, but Matrix's still looking, so they don't have all three bows.
Yeah, I guess we're in no mode then, because I know for a fact that Axe and Archibald don't have the long bow yet.
There we go. Archibald's getting it. Alright, so they're good.
They're out. They're in the lead. Officially go mode and in the lead.
Yep, there they go. They're both blasting to the end now. They know. Yeah. So Matt Gorilla thinks it's a crypt dive, and they're gonna get the bad news. Nope, random bow's bow of truth. Alright, so they lucked out there. They're not gonna waste any more time on crypt.
What's that?
Oh, and with all of this power scaling, I'd hate to call it early. There has been issues in the past with the tower in co-op mode. It is possible for them to lose this, but Code Gorilla and Matrix are in a rough spot right now without that last bow.
Oh, he equipped it and unequipped it and didn't realize.
What the heck happened at the
Axeman
wall? Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
So it got blasted?
Axeman accidentally unequipped a bow before trying to use it.
And then there's some weird syncing stuff with this. So that's why you see Archibald just chilling and Axeman going to break the wall. So the bosses and triggers and things will sync. So they both don't want to do something at the same time, otherwise it causes issues. So only one of them will do something and the other one will just be right behind them.
If you don't call that the Sonic and Tails effect, then I don't know what's happening.
So does that mean we promoted Axeman to Sonic and Archibald to Tails?
We'll find out in a second who's sitting there spamming refresh for the other at the end of the tower.
Which one's killing Dr. Robotnik while the other one is just dodging?
Yeah, I can see. I bet like we had a long pause from Code Gorilla there, and I'm pretty sure Code Gorilla is the person who made the tracker for Crystalis Randomizer, the most recent tracker we have. And so he's probably in there filling in all the buttons for the tracker and trying to make sure that they get the... What are they missing? That's the big question. What are they missing? Could it be Brokahana? It was Brokahana all along.
That makes me happy. So it makes me happy to see people miss Brokahana. Brokahana's other name is Mashahana, because I've kind of failed that check a lot in races. And it makes me so happy to see others fail it.
Here we are on the final stretch. This is the tower. If you're familiar with something like, the Link to the Past randomizer, they have, there's like the gauntlet there at the end where you have to go and fight through all of these different rooms. This is much simpler of a gauntlet. You have 3 floors with some of the most difficult and annoying enemy combinations in the game. Those robocopters will kill you. And these robots, if you mess up, will kill you.
Yeah, make no mistake. When he says it's a simpler gauntlet, it's just simpler in design. It is a gauntlet. If you die here, don't feel bad. Many a player has died here and just given up because it is quite the struggling challenge. These robots do not want your... Yeah, the copters suck. They are coming for you. They know. They know how much you want this win. They will not let you have it. There they go. They're on Axeman right now.
The other thing to note about the tower is both players will have to kill Dinah for time to finish. So as they go through this tower, what they'll do is they'll have one player go and forge Crystalis itself, and then the other player will then proceed to go into Dinah as well. Because if you forge Crystalis too early, it will sync and update your swords, and then one player will suddenly no longer have any swords. And Crystalis isn't coded to do damage outside of the Dinah fight.
It does do damage.
You have to stab
it does
them.
1 non-elemental damage with a stab. That's it.
So,
But on the plus side, it can hurt anything for 1 damage.
it is it's not very effective outside of tower, so we've seen that before and had a good laugh, and I think they know better now, but it has happened before. Code Gorilla and Matrick are catching up here real quick. There's honestly no difference in the items they have. There's no difference in the scaling or anything like that. Everything's cleared to go. They're running straight to the end right now. Yeah, pretty much the only thing that could go wrong is if Axe accidentally tripped up and got Crystalis forged before
He came close, but he stopped himself.
Arch finishes this. Yeah.
Arch was like, "Don't you do it! Don't you dare!"
It would have made for a hilarious ending, though, of having to watch Arch finish it off and giving time for Code and Matrick to catch up.
As he's trying to stab the robots 1 damage at a time.
How much health?
You've got Barrier, you've got Magic, you're good.
Like
they've got
176, it looked like, on Code's screen.
Let me see in a second. 168 is the green robots. I thought the white were 2 something. I might be mistaken. We'll know in a second. Tower music is extremely good. Yeah, the tower music is like your big reward for making it to the end because it's just so good. Here's white. Nope, 176.
And don't worry, we've never touched the tower music before.
Alright, so X-Men's done. We're just waiting on Archibald.
Get ready for time.
And-
It's when Arch's stream goes black. And then... time.
That's time.
GG's to the bald axe. Good work.
GG.
Official race time GG of 1 hour, 9 minutes, 10 seconds.
The one thing that Code and Matric
Excellent
are doing
video.
differently here is instead of having both of them take on the tower, you can actually just have one person take on the tower, and once they complete it, then the flags will sync, and then Matric can just walk through it by themselves. So he doesn't actually have to do the tower as long as you wait outside of it for it to sync. So yeah, now the flag should be set that he could just walk up the stairs. Yep.
There he goes.
So
Yeah, it was a pretty close race back and forth. Again, like we brought up, it was all on that bow hunt, and that's just a lot of coin tosses.
just like to remind chat to have their Jeff Peters ready.
Oh yeah, we are coming up on that.
Coming up on our Jeff Peters in a second, and we're going to be
Archibald had to
joined.
be lame and jump past it.
GG, Code Gorilla's finishing. Matrix about to finish as well. Dinah, the biggest pushover we've had. Ignore the name GLaDOS. It's Dinah, I promise.
Jeff Peters! And GG.
GG.
Where is Code's GG? Am I unsubbed from Code? Oh, I gotta fix that. Guess I unsubbed from Code.
GG to our racers. They're about to join us in a second. I see them all piling into the setup, about ready to hop over, I suppose. I hope everyone had a lot of fun. This was a blast to watch. It was really close.
Oh,
It was a
very
nightmare
close
track.
race the whole way through, though. It was a nightmare
Really?
to track.
yeah, it was. It was something.
Nice.
Like,
Cool,
all right, these people
yeah.
have this item, so they're clearly ahead. But these people have this item, so they're ahead. Has anyone gone to Goa? No. Okay. I don't think anybody's ahead till someone goes to Goa. Oh, they're going to Goa. Oh, and they're going to Goa. All
I
right.
don't
Well, I
care
guess they're
who's
safe.
ahead. What I care about is what's in which inventory.
All right, so let's get this one out of the way right now. So we ran into a major bug that caused us to lose 3 items, including 2 progression items, and so we spent the rest of the game trying to figure out if we were even going to be able to finish.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
what
what
happened? So what happened is we cleared Saber South. Saber South had a shield
Okay.
ring, it had the prison key, and it also had the trade-in for the boat owner. And when I talked to Tornell, I then reset, and I went back to Bryn Mawr because I was going to go and make a deviation from there. When I reloaded, it removed all the items from both of our inventories, but it kept all the flags on. So both of us went back to the mountain and screwed around on the mountain for a minute or a minute and a half to try and figure out what was going on. And then from there, we had to inefficiently check the rest of the seed, trying to figure out if we could finish. So while it looked like we were floundering there a little bit in the end, it's because we were trying to figure out if it was even possible for us to finish. We got lucky in that neither of those spots mattered, but yes, we did run into a minor bug, which actually probably led to a fantastic race because, as you can see, we all finished within 2 minutes of each other, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty close at the end there.
But yeah, but that was a we don't know what happened because I mean we've been using the same strats the whole time. You know, you go into an area, you pick up the items, you reset out, you go back, and you keep moving, and it's like nothing is ever out of sync, or that stuff never happens. And tonight when it did, it was like, wait, where did those items go? What happened? So yeah. Anyway,
Oh man.
I'm not making an excuse for why we lost. I'm just saying this is what happened, which ended up leading to the fact that the race, cost us time that we shouldn't have been spending screwing around on the mountain.
Huh.
Yeah, we know.
You
So very
obviously
close.
played good enough to beat us, which is,
Yeah.
GG's to you guys. You did well.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks.
I'm excited that the race was this close. I'm glad we put on a good show.
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah. GG to you guys.
We
Absolutely.
all
it
know
was-
Arch snuck in a little extra code to make sure they won there.
Yeah.
We all know
I
it.
knew
No,
I should
John.
have taken that last minute update. No.
See, the secret was to use the fruit of lime. That just gives you like 5 extra levels. You didn't do
Oh.
that?
Yeah.
We used it all right on the ground and stomped it for
Sure did.
I mean, I kind of consider the opal for Motto 2 that Axeman had to be kind of the tipping point. Because Motto 2 was on
True.
point and clobbering both Code and Axeman. Axe just lost the opal, though, and managed to get out of the fight.
Whereas we didn't find any of the opals until after that fight.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
was
watching
sitting at the end.
Code get clobbered with it again, and it was wonderful. Oh, and then, not just to bring it up, we did catch the weird the sync that happened when Code was trying to heal before the Motto 2 fight.
Oh yeah,
it-
I talked to Asina as Matrix reloading.
So it
I-
synced your original health to Matrix, then you healed, and it synced Matrix health to you, bringing you back to your original health.
Yeah, smooth. I had to go hit an inn. Oh, and then, oh god, I went to hit the inn, and it was like, oh, okay, this inn is the Chiron Inn. That's fine. I'll go buy some medical herbs in the leaf shop that had no people in it anymore, so I couldn't even buy medical herbs there. So I had to wild warp out and go find an inn. It was a disaster.
Kind of fun all around, though.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's
Judging
part of
from-
what makes this fun. I mean, I don't know about you guys. We did a full hell run. I mean, I did a hell run.
You
of the
you
slump.
both did a hell run. Both sides did hell run. We were
yeah.
laughing so much watching both of your hell runs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I took
mean-
a death once, on the insect trying to do it one time.
I'm pretty sure one of the items we just flat out lost access to
Was the
the gas mask. Either that or is encrypt.
Oh, we never
We
found
never
gas
found
mask
it.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Must-
head had been
yeah.
crypt. Did you find the speed boots?
No.
Okay, that's
So
probably the
I'm
other item in the
guessing
crypt.
that was the other item in crypt.
Yep.
Because the only two spots that we couldn't check were the item from Kensu, because we lost the
Okay.
boat owner item, and then we couldn't check the paralysis location because we lost the prison key. So if the bow of moon or sun, whichever one it was, happened to be in one of those two locations, we'd have been sitting there at the end going, "You got some explaining to do."
Yeah, that did explain a little bit because we saw Code just pause for a while you were doing just some like random things, Matrick. We're pretty sure Code is going through his tracker right now, trying to figure out exactly what's left.
No, it wasn't that. It was that we just were trying to figure out where the items went. And then
Well,
Code's like, I'll go check the mountain. Okay.
There's a little of both, yeah. Because especially at the end where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, what's left that we actually have access to? Because we should have these items, but we don't.
And the
Oh.
hope that you had Mo of Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
There was,
Nope, that's truth.
there
Yep.
was also a fun pause in the middle of my stream because I had to deal with a couple of cats that were having a nasty fight in my office. And I had to go open the door and boot them out.
There's a lot of excuses, Matrix. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I had a fun run tonight, is what I had. You know what, though? I appreciate things like this because it allows us to, refine and continue to improve. And so, I'll take one for the team tonight.
Yeah.
To make
Well,
them
what I
better.
like about it as well is that we can bring in new people into the community and actually play with someone who's brand new in the community, take some of the veterans, and kind of walk them through our mindset of where checks kind of open up as well if they ever want to improve on the game as well.
True.
Yeah. Come join us.
Yeah.
We have cookies.
Yeah, and a co-op mode. So now you can experience the game and kill off the other person by running into the enemy a lot because these guys made it look easy. Like stabbing these enemies to death, when you try it yourself, you will die on repeat. And the best part is you can bring them with you when you die.
We have easier learning settings too. We have a quicker leveling system you can click on, so you'll level a lot faster. That helps quite a bit.
Do you mean the full stupid?
Why does everybody do that? Everybody's like, I've never played this game before. I'm gonna do a full stupid. This randomizer's
Yeah,
awful. I'm like, why did you do the full stupid? Like,
There's a reason why it's called that.
Oh.
Yep.
That said, I believe there is another run after us still tonight, so I think it is time for us to get out of here. Thank you, Questing for Glory, for having us, and hopefully we'll be back again in a future year.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Have a good time, everyone.
Thank you all for watching.